Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of your one and only Tabitha show right here on Alta TV. My name is Tabitha Chibula, your host for today, and always, hopefully. And today I have with me someone that decided to step out of the ordinary and mention the big elephant in the room. An issue that most of Africa is dealing with currently and has dealt with in the past. So I speak of none other than Mrs. Ketsia Lombo. So how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You look so good, girl.
Thank you. You look good too.
Thank you. So why don't you tell us briefly, who is Ketsia? What does she do? We want to get to know you a little bit.
So my full name is Ketsia Lomboso, and I'm from Congo, Brazzaville. I am 19, and I work with people with disability, mental disability in Edmonton.
Okay, so we see that right behind us here, there's a particular book that has your name on it.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to us about that book?
So Doomed Tribe of Black Umoja is a book that talks about a young albino woman that was both quite different from her family because she's albino. So in the beginning, her father was expecting to have a son, and then when she came out, then she was a girl, and she was albino. So he didn't really like her. And she was rejected in the society. She faced a lot of problems in the society. And I don't want to go into details because I want people to read the book.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Yes.
to give me their opinion. So that's,
So, I mean, the book is a fiction book. Maybe this person doesn't necessarily exist in real life, but the issue in that book is something that we face even today in 2020.
Yes.
So why did you think that putting it inside a book would be a better approach to it?
So one day I was watching a documentary of a young albino woman that has to leave a country, Cameroon, for France because of the way she was treated. She was treated wrongly by her own family.
Sure.
So after watching that video on YouTube, then I remembered that she was not the only one that was facing the same problem. Across Africa, every single day, albinos are treated wrongly.
Yes.
So I wanted to read the book to actually give a message to people to learn how to love each other and not to discriminate anyone.
So in your point of view, what do you think the real issue is? Why do you think people treat albinos like that? Because they're still Africans, like they're still black people. They just have a different complexion. But what do you think pushes people to behave so hatefully?
So when we see someone different from us, we may have different mindset.
Sure.
And started to question ourselves, started to question why the person is different.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the problems, because when you ask too many questions, that's when the problem comes. Because when you may ask an offensive question to someone that is albino, you may think that is normal to ask that, because why are you like this? Why are you white and you live in Africa?
Right.
And then you can see that it's normal for you to ask this kind of question, but maybe it's really offensive to the person that is receiving the question.
Yes.
So I think that's the issue that we are still facing every day, and I think it is time that we stop doing asking questions or just doing everything that we do. Yes.
So I totally understand that, and I'm one person that always fights for other people's rights. I hate when people mistreat other people, and I have a lot of compassion. But you seem like you have a really big passion for this particular problem. You wrote a book about the issue.
Yes.
Is this something that you've experienced?
So I grew up in Congo, Brazzaville.
Okay.
And every single day in Congo, Brazzaville was different, because I will wake up in one morning, then I will see an albino. I was really young, and I will question myself, why this person is different? But I will not say that loud.
Sure.
And I will sometimes also hear people like criticizing them calling them names like witch, and it was really offensive to me. And I was wondering why they were treated so differently from the rest of the world. And when I grew up, and then I started to understand why they were treated this way. So I decided to write a book, because for me, writing a book is the best way for me to express myself, because I don't usually express myself verbally. I prefer to write so people can read and understand my opinion.
Sure.
Yes.
So, I mean, you just mentioned that you grew up in Congo, Brazzaville.
Yes.
And you got to see the discrimination and how people were rude towards albinos. You got to see it physically.
Yes.
So why did you wait till you were 19 to write about it or even mention it? I know, that video on YouTube inspired you to write about it, but why now? Why didn't you just look at the video? Same thing.
That's a good question, because I started writing the book in 2017.
Okay.
It was a different story. It was just like a crazy story that I didn't want to continue.
Sure.
And when I started writing that book, I was not inspired to continue, so I had to stop. And it was like last year, mid-June, that I actually watched the video, and then I remember what was happening in Africa, and then I decided to write a new story that will actually emphasize the problem that we are still facing,
Sure.
and maybe we can together find a solution to this problem.
It makes sense, and honestly, I think that it's an issue that needs to be heard, and a lot of people, even some people, let's say the younger Ketsia back in Congo,
Yeah.
maybe if she grew up in a society where people would go against it when they see discrimination, they stood up against it, maybe it wouldn't be a big issue today.
Yes,
and I think
absolutely.
it's really important that you're actually mentioning it through this book.
Yes.
And speaking of this book, talk to me about the editor, the publishing house. How did you manage to get this out here?
So I did everything by myself. If you open the book, everything was done by me. So I did not have a lot of resources. So I was doing everything by myself. I took time to do it. Then for publishing, and I'm self-publishing the book. And then I chose one publishing company called Ingram Spark.
Okay.
And they're gonna publish the book worldwide.
Yeah, but usually, because for authors, they usually have the editor, they usually have a particular publishing store or a publishing house that they go to. But if I understand correctly, you're in university right now.
Yes.
You're 19 years old, and you're studying health. You said you work with mental ill people.
Yeah.
What's the link between you being in university, working with mental health, and writing a book? How did you even get into writing a book? Because you're not an author.
Yes.
So how did you, tell me, what was the process? What were you thinking when you got into writing this book?
I was just inspired, like I've said before, I was just inspired to write something about this issue.
Okay.
So that when people read the book, they can actually maybe realize that we are doing something wrong and we need to change it before it's too late. Because I can see every day, like I've said before, every day albinos are being killed. And it's an issue that we cannot live like that. We need to go deeply and find the right solution to this.
So who's your target? Who do you want to read that book?
Our target is everyone. It's for everyone. If it's for kids, for adults, for everyone. I want them to read it, and then also for kids, because they are young, they don't really know anything, but they can start to bully friends at school, anything like that. So I want them to read the book and understand that it's not right to bully anybody.
Yes.
Yes.
So this being your first book, and I hope there's going to be more books.
I hope so.
Yes, by God's grace.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you found yourself facing in the process of writing this book?
The challenge was the language. French is my first language, so English is my second. And I was not really, I did not really have a lot of words to express myself in the book. So I was writing the book, and then I had to also pay a freelancer to actually help me write the book as well.
Sure.
And that's why I was able to finish the book, because I was getting help everywhere.
Sure.
Yes.
That's really good. So if you guys also know, which I'm sure you know as well, is February is Black History Month, where
The big month.
the big month, exactly. We celebrate Black people, we celebrate Black culture, and surprisingly enough, or I guess maybe you did this on purpose too, so God bless you for that. The book is being released February 8th,
yes.
2020. So to add a little bit of salt and pepper and sauce and everything to your Black history pepper soup, there is also this book that will be released February 8th. Pre-order is available.
Now.
It's available now. And you can get it right on Amazon, you mentioned.
On Amazon, in libraries, schools, everywhere you can get it.
Absolutely. And online libraries as well, online bookstores, you can pre-order the book. And February 8th, if you haven't gotten the book yet, or even next year if you haven't got the book yet, get it, because it's there for you. And it has very important information that everyone needs to hear, not only Africa. Yes, of course, Africa needs to hear it, but I think, like you said, it's important for everyone.
It's important for everyone, yes.
Absolutely. So, taking a step back a little bit here, back to the title of your book, Doomed Tribe of Black Umoja. Okay, you're from Congo, Brazzaville, and I'm from Congo, Kinshasa.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Umoja is in a language in Congo. I don't think that's English. I don't think that's French. Where did you get this word from?
So the book is based in Kenya. So Umoja is a village in Kenya where men are not allowed.
Okay.
So it's just for women. So women that are abused in their relationships, they are abused by the families, they can go to Umoja to find freedom and peace.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you more questions because I feel like it's an important part of this book, which I need my copy right away because I have to read it, okay? But apart from that, in the process of all of this, who was your biggest supporter, or what helped you keep going?
The inspiration came from God, and I will also say my family that was always there for me. So yes.
It's hard to do something when people around you don't support you.
Yes, of course.
So very, very blessed to have everyone around you supporting you.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I'm going to ask if you have something to let the world know, a last message for everyone to hear, if you can go ahead and tell the people.
If I ever had the chance to talk to a young girl and teach her something, I would definitely teach her not to discriminate or be a bully. I would encourage her to love and to take care of anyone the same way she would want someone to take care of her.
Yes.
And I will just ask her to love. That's it. Love and include other in the society as well. Include Albinos. Include anyone that you feel that is being discriminated, include them in the society. Yes.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I believe that love is a very, very important factor. And unfortunately, a lot of human beings need a little bit more love. So hopefully through this book and the light of this book and the light of Mrs. Ketsia here, you will get to love a little bit more. I want to thank you for taking time and
thank you so much
on the Tabitha show. I'm super excited to start reading this book. I'm cutting this interview short because I have to go read this book right now.
It's a great story, and you need to get your copy of the book.
Get your copy ASAP Rocky. Get it right now. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
I will let you go. I will go read this book, and I will let you guys go too. This was Ketsia talking about her book, Doomed Tribe of Black Umoja, on the Tabitha show. Mwah! Good night.